If you're searching for the best survival knife for camping, don't buy anything until you see this, because one popular best survival knife feature is actually the reason people snap blades and end up with a useless knife in the woods. Today you'll get a simple checklist, plus the 7 best fixed blade knives for camping in 2026, budget to premium, so you can pick the right survival knife the first time. This is for anyone typing in best survival knife for camping, best fixed blade for camping, best bushcraft knife, or even survival knife versus bushcraft knife, and you want one knife that can handle real outdoor tasks, not just look tactical. No brand hype, just what actually matters. Tang, steel, grind handle, sheath, and the real trade-offs. By the end, you'll know exactly what blade length to choose, what full tang really means for durability, and the 2 steels beginners overpay for. And stick around because number 1 is the knife type most people should buy for camping. But it's not the one influencers push. Let's be honest, the best survival knife depends on your camping style. For most campers, the priorities are safe food prep, easy carving, basic fire prep, and reliability, not chopping down trees like a fantasy movie. So when someone asks for the best survival knife for camping, the real question is, do you need a general-purpose fixed blade or a heavier knife that can batten wood all day? Here's the checklist to choose the best fixed blade knife for camping. This is what stops buyer's remorse. First, look for a full tang survival knife if durability is your priority, especially if you baton wood. If you're mainly doing food prep and light carving, you don't need a crowbar, but you do need something well constructed. 2. Blade length, control versus power. For most camping tasks, the sweet spot is usually a mid-sized blade. Enough length for basic woodwork, but still controllable for carving and food. 3. Steel, edge retention versus rust. Outdoor knives live around moisture, sweat, rain, and food acids, so steel choice matters. If you hate maintenance, you'll usually prefer stainless. If you want easy sharpening and don't mind wiping the blade, many carbon steels are great. 4. Grind and thickness. Cutting ability. Super thick blades can survive abuse, but they often cut worse, especially for food and carving. For camping, cutting performance matters as much as brute strength. 5. Handle plus sheath, the hidden deal breaker. The best survival knife for camping is the one you'll actually carry, and the sheath is what makes you carry it. If the sheath is uncomfortable, noisy, or unsafe, you'll stop using the knife. Now, the 7 picks. These are not only these exact models. They're categories you can shop by, so you can find your best survival knife for camping in your budget. If you're searching best survival knife under $50 or budget survival knife for camping, prioritize comfortable handle, decent sheath, and the steel you can sharpen easily. A budget knife that cuts well beats an expensive knife you're afraid to use. For coastal camping, wet climates, or if you just don't want rust stress, a stainless fixed blade is often the best fixed blade for camping. Just don't confuse stainless with never clean it. Maintenance is still a thing. If you searched best bushcraft knife for camping, look for a knife that feels like a scalpel in wood, good ergonomics, and a grind that bites. This is where bushcraft knives usually outperform thick survival knives. If your camping includes lots of splitting kindling by batoning, this is where a full tang survival knife shines. Here you accept a bit less slicing performance in exchange for confidence when you're beating on the spine. Most people don't talk about this, but for normal camping, food prep is a daily task, so a slicier, thinner, fixed blade can be the best survival knife for camping for you. If the knife wedges in vegetables, you'll hate it by day 2. If you want one tool to do 80% of tasks well, carving, food, light batoning, go balanced, medium blade, comfortable handle, practical sheath. This is the category most people mean when they type best survival knife on YouTube. Here's the twist. For most campers, the best survival knife for camping is not the thickest tactical knife, it's the one that cuts efficiently, carries comfortably, and is easy to maintain. Function beats fantasy, and that's what makes it the best fixed blade for camping in real life. 3 mistakes that ruin a best survival knife purchase. Buying too thick, you gain durability but lose cutting performance for food and carving. Ignoring the sheath. A bad sheath makes a great knife annoying or unsafe. Overpaying for steel? The best survival knife is the one you can sharpen confidently. If you want, drop a comment with your camping style. Car camping, bushcraft, hiking, wet climate or cold weather, and the blade length you prefer. Then the next video can be a direct comparison, survival knife versus bushcraft knife, with the exact best choices for each use case. And if you're researching right now, check the description, pinning a quick checklist for best survival knife for camping so you can shop faster without getting baited by marketing.